Welcome to Puzzled and Chatty, the international edition with me, Adam Gray, where I talk with jigsaw puzzlers from around the world and share their stories, thoughts, and opinions on this growing competitive activity and the global puzzle community. In this episode, I sit down with a puzzler who is not just near the top of the standings in her competitions, but has also stood on top of the world. You may recognize her when she's competing, but you'll definitely recognize her inflatable costume between events. Joining me from Switzerland, it's Annemie Kostezer, the puzzling unicorn. Annemie and I discuss the puzzling community in Switzerland and the challenges a growing puzzling country may have, what it's like to climb Mount Everest and potentially have the record of completing a puzzle at the highest altitude, her love for giant puzzles, including the world's largest puzzle, and more. So pull up a chair and pick a puzzle off the shelf to do while you listen to two people who are puzzled and chatty. Hello and welcome to another episode of Puzzled and Chatty, the international edition. This time representing Switzerland, we have Annemie. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Nice to have me here.
Yeah, it's great to. There's going to be some interesting stuff that we talk about, and you're maybe not a name that comes to mind quickly with a lot of speed puzzlers, but once we start talking about how they would probably recognize you, maybe not what you're currently wearing, but they will definitely recognize you as we go further into this. Um, Before we start talking about that and other things that you've done, some very interesting stuff. How did you get into speed puzzling or puzzling in
By
general? Sorry, just puzzling.
Okay, puzzling. I always puzzled my whole life. My mom used to puzzle when I was little, and my two siblings are both a little bit older, and they all always played together. And I was the third wheel, and I had to play with myself or by myself. And then I went to my mom and helped her puzzling. I'm pretty sure I didn't help her at first. I just took pieces and put them somewhere, but yeah, that's how it started, and it was always nice to like calm down and do something alone with my mom, because I was always the youngest, and yeah, it was hard to have this alone time. That's how it started, and I just never stopped.
Yeah, I hear a number of stories where it's either only kids like myself, where puzzling is a very individual activity, so it's something to do, or it's three siblings or more, and one of the siblings has the puzzle interest as to do something on their own. So you're consistent with what I've seen in the past. So would your mom do like a lot of puzzles?
Like when I think back, I think she didn't do a lot because she had three kids and she also worked. So I assume she didn't have much time. But I remember always having a puzzle somewhere. We always used to have this cupboard. We put it underneath the bed if we didn't finish the puzzle. So I remember having puzzles around all the time. But I'm pretty sure we didn't puzzle that much. And then also my sister once said that she remembers also that we puzzled with our grandmom, like the mom of our mom. And then when I heard this, I also have this picture of me helping my grandma, but also a picture where I was sitting beside my granddad, and we used to do like crosswords, like the ones you had these letters and you have to find words. And I remember me sitting there. I don't know how small I was, sitting there and looking for these words in this mass of letters. So yeah, I can't say how much we puzzled, but I know puzzles were around all the time.
Yeah, when I was younger, like word search is what we would call them here, and yeah, it's essentially the same as a jigsaw puzzle. You're looking for very specific things within a lot of jumbled up messes. So yeah, again, that's very consistent. So when did you make the transition or discover speed puzzling?
By accident. So when I was, I think, 8 or so, we had this toy store in our village, and they had a competition there, and I didn't dare to go there. like participate there. I didn't sign in because I didn't tell anyone. And then when the competition was there, I went there to watch, and I saw all these very, very slow people puzzling. And then I told myself, whenever I hear about something like that, I will go there. And then, like 20 years, even more, no, 30 years, nothing happened. And then 3 years ago, I saw this little poster on my way to work. In summer, I sometimes bike to work, and then I saw this poster. I was like, "Oh yes, a puzzle competition in a toy." Like Saturday night, they had a gym, and it's just playing all night. And then I saw the date, and it was like last Saturday. And then I had in my mind, okay, next year in September, maybe they do the same, and then I will go there. And then I saw the poster again, like a week before this time. And then I made my then boyfriend go there. We had a busy Saturday, and we just sat on the couch. We were tired, and then I was like, no, we have to go there. So we went there, and I was like double faster than everyone else. And then we went home and told this to his parents. And then his mom said, "Oh, maybe there is a Swiss championship sometime." And then she was Googling. And then we didn't have Swiss championships, but she found world championships, which happened to be 2 weeks after that. Um, yeah. And then I tried to get a 500-piece puzzle because I never had one. They were too small for me and too boring. I never looked at them. I was like, 500 pieces, I don't want to do that. And then I was trying to get this black dog puzzle, which was, I think, in the semifinals or the final the year before. And I tried to do it, and I was like, if I can do it under an hour, I will go to Worlds. And I did it in 59:50 something. Yeah, and then yeah, I booked a flight, made sure I can take off from work, and I, like 12 days after I discovered it, I went to Worlds.
That's, I hear so many stories of people that just randomly discover worlds and head straight to them. And I don't think there's another activity, sport, hobby, whatever you want to call it, where people are willing to do that. And how did your first worlds go then?
Absolutely amazing. I was like in the qualification, I was in the same round like Kristen. And I sat like 10 meters behind her, and my sister was watching her and watching me. And it turns out that this, like, we had the lupines puzzle I really wanted to buy before Worlds, but it was sold out. When I opened the bag, I knew why it was sold out. And my sister said I was not that much behind her with the sky section. So I was pretty much on the same speed like her. But yeah, the lupines, yeah. If you ever did this puzzle the first time, it's just chaos fighting through the puzzle. Um, yeah, and I was so nervous when the first finished. I was like, "Oh no, I'm so slow, I'm so slow." And then the second one finished, and I was like, "Oh, I'm the slowest person in this whole." And I got so pissed by myself because I felt so slow. And then when I finished, I looked at the screen, and I was like 11th. And I was like, okay, maybe 100 people are before, and they didn't have space for like 3-digit rankings. And I was so confused because it didn't match the feeling I had. So I had a very, very bad feeling on the qualification. And then like in the final, I was like, okay, putting earphones in, and just I don't want to hear anything. I may have destroyed my ears there. Like my It was like the sound was so loud, and I finished 14th, which was beyond what I ever expected. And it will be the best ranking I will ever have, I guess, in solo.
You never know. Everything year on year, it can change. But I definitely understand the Lupins because that was my pairs puzzle at Worlds this past year. And we had the two choices. It was either Lupins or the butterfly. Neither were good options. And that was the
I was
first
in the
time I,
same round, actually.
yeah. You went with Lupins, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but we were faster in the butterfly, we found out.
Oh. That was the first time I had competed with my partner uh in a competition. So we knew before kind of before it started because we could see from the outside of like the waiting area, we could see that it was a landscape and it looked kind of like Lupin's, and we could see the logo that said the animals. And so we knew it was something in there. We didn't know what the animals were, but we're like, if it's red lionfish, definitely. If it's any of the others, absolutely not. And yeah, it was the butterfly, and no, chameleon would have been tough. I don't know what we would have done with chameleon, but uh, and we knew it wasn't peacock, but yeah, I had the same feeling at the end. Lupin's, I'm just awful when it comes to those types of flowers, and I felt like I did absolutely nothing. I've watched the video back of it, and I didn't do very much. It was definitely my pair's partner that did. And I thought if we I don't I'm like we're not even gonna get through. I'm so disappointed. We had goals of making the final, and then we looked at the rankings and we were like 36th or something like that. We're like, oh, okay, we're through. That was that was fine. But yeah, I haven't looked at that puzzle. I didn't want it. I gave it away instantly. I was like, I don't want that anywhere near me ever again. I won't practice it. I won't try it again. It was the worst experience I've ever had, but I understand.
Yeah, you know the fun thing with the Lupin, we did the same in Paris, and I was like, okay, I do the sky because I'm good in sky. And then when I finished the sky, I don't know how long it took, maybe I don't know 5 minutes or so. Um, I threw 50 pieces down by accident. I was like having my tray and then pulled it down, so like half of the sky was on the
Oh.
floor again, and I was like, okay, I redo it again. So I redid it again, and then when I finished, I was like, Patrick, what are you doing? I'm done with my like part twice and you didn't finish your part. What the hell? So we are always choking while we are puzzling. So yeah, it's definitely not a puzzle I will redo again in near future, but it's still like it was my first ever puzzle I did in a competition. So there's a yeah, still kind of like it. And
Yeah.
I will never give it away. Like the one from Worlds, what 3 years ago, I will never give away. But the ones we did the same. We were like not even out of the hole, and we already gave it to somebody.
Yeah, it's I kept the finals puzzle, so that's the one I'll hold on to, and I have the semifinals puzzle as well. So those are fine. The preliminary rounds I don't really care too much about. I don't want to talk too much about issues with worlds that we had last year. We're all aware of stuff that happened, but because you were one of the few people, and not so few people, but what was your feeling like when you opened up the pairs puzzle and you saw a repeat of a worlds puzzle you had already done at worlds? Was what was just your thought process?
Uh, we have to do it. Like we
Yeah,
had the
fair enough.
same. Yeah, you have to do it because we wanted to go into the final, right? We were discussing before Worlds what would you do if you have this and this and this puzzle, and we were the same like you, like the lionfish we would do for sure, even though I think Patrick didn't do many of them. Like he didn't do the chameleon before Worlds. I'm pretty sure he didn't do the butterfly before Worlds. I think only the red lionfish. So I knew, like with the butterfly, I knew I'm good on the background. I was bad on the butterfly, which is very funny because the butterfly at first looks easier, but for me, I don't
It's
know.
not. The butterfly is not easy. Nothing on it's easy. I like the butterfly a bit more because you know where everything ends because it's clear it's an outline of it, but the blurry background with the pink flowers and the green blurry, that I find that so much harder.
Yeah, so for me it seemed to be easier. So I told Patrick, like I'm like for me qualification at Worlds always the hardest round because you have to get through it and you have this advantage if you know the puzzle. And we knew there are people who already did it at Worlds, so we were like, Patrick said, I can do these flowers faster than I can do the butterfly, and then it was clear. But yeah, we already expected something like that because it was not the first round. We were just hoping for a puzzle like impossible we didn't own yet, so that we had something out of it. Yeah, so it was poor disappointment, and then the faster we get through it, the faster it's done, and we can move to hopefully more pleasurable puzzle next round.
Yeah, the qualification just seems more of a formality, and with the new rules that have just recently come out for this year, I think it's even more of a formality. A lot more pairs and individuals will go through to the uh, semifinals, so it's just part of the week. It's a good warm up, I think, for a lot of people just to get into the mindset. But speaking of worlds, before we go into it, if people want to follow your puzzle journey, post stuff like that, where's the best place for them to do that?
I would say Instagram or direct conversation with me because I always take pictures. I think, oh, I could post this and this and this. But when I'm home, like life goes on. I come home on Sunday and Monday I have to work. And then it takes like a month till I'm like, okay, now I could post. And then I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to go through pictures. So I rarely post after competitions. So the best thing would be like talking to me, or yeah, if we want to have pictures, I'm sure on Instagram you find some nice things. But I could post more of, I'm sure I could.
And what is the account's name?
It's puzzle underline unicorn. It's because of my unicorns.
Yeah.
Uh
which we
yeah.
will go into, which we'll go into now. And this is how most people will probably recognize you if they were at Worlds and have seen various posts on the Worlds account and pictures with other people on there. You are the puzzled unicorn. You are the one that was running around, or one of the people running around in the inflatable unicorn costumes. I think the
Exactly.
first,
Yeah.
I think the first question is why?
Why not?
Fair enough. I think the second question, no, but what made you decide to wear the inflatable?
So it all started with COVID when people had to wear masks to go shopping. And then these very nice videos appeared of people wearing whatever, inflatables. And my sister and I, we always send reels back and forward with people like going out and removing snow with the dinosaur costume. And my fiance gifted me, I think 2 years ago, a dinosaur costume and inflatable. And I almost peed myself wearing this. Like I wore it and I didn't see myself, but I like, you can't imagine when I start laughing, I can't breathe anymore. I'm just there doing this. So I sent this video 2 years ago to my sister, and she was like, one time I want to go into a shop, pretend to do grocery shopping with these inflatables. And then when I don't even know on which homepage these unicorn costumes appeared, and I had to buy them. And then I surprised my sister when I first went on an expedition, like before when I went to say goodbye with this. So yeah, and she said you have to take them because I want to walk around with these at Worlds because everyone knows you, everyone will know it's you. And she also loves to do crazy stuff like this. And so the two of us went there, and my mom was so embarrassed by us. She was like, how did I raise you two that you always do stuff like this?
I think you have to have a level of confidence to be able to do that. It's so that your mom should be thrilled that you have the willingness to go out and do something that fun and just because there's no negatives to it. It's all positive. You see an inflatable unicorn running around. How can you not smile and laugh when you see something like that? So
Exactly.
and with everything that went on with Worlds this past year, I think having the unicorns is was one of the positive additions to the whole event. Have you ever puzzled in the unicorn outfit?
I did, yes. So there was an EJJ party from Michelle, I think 2 weeks before World. And also my sister, really have to blame my sister Roni for all of this because she has the stupid ideas and I usually like put them into action. And she was like, you could puzzle with this unicorn costume. And I was like, yeah, why not? Because on EJJs, my goal is always to be on the first page with the results. But I knew it's almost impossible. So why not puzzle with this inflatable? And so did I did. And it was terrible because I didn't realize that like the lighting, like the head is so big and the lighting was always covered, so I couldn't see anything. And then I think Tammy McLeod was co-hosting it, and she was like, oh, I wonder how many pieces are already on the floor because of her stomach. And I was like, oh fuck yeah, oh shit, yeah, the stomach is too big. And I looked on the floor and then I saw the pieces on the floor. I was like, okay, thank you, Tammy. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so it was so fun.
Did it before you did that event then, did it even cross your mind? Because you are one of the faster puzzlers. You making it through to the semifinals at Worlds is essentially a given. Something awful would have to happen for you not to get through. Before you did the EJJ puzzle, did it cross your mind to maybe in the qualifiers at Worlds I'll wear the unicorn costume?
Actually, no, not really, because uh, I consider the qualification as the most dangerous round to get kicked out because people are so fast and you can just get used to the puzzles. So if yes, it would have been the final or the semi-final, but actually it was never in my mind. Maybe next time.
Doing it at the finals would be very hilarious because it would just and well this year I guess there's more space. The dome, you don't have the factors of the dome, so it would be there it might be easy. It'd be easier than doing in the dome, maybe. Until we see the location, we don't actually know. Were there any regrets that you had wearing it because this was like the hottest Spain September ever?
No, I would do it again over and over and over because actually in the suit it wasn't hotter than outside. It was just like the head where the tissue was on the skin. You were just sweating like on like plastic on your skin. But other than that, you had this ventilation in your like in the costume. So you had this air going around, and like running around with or without the costume would like give you sweat. So no,
Sure.
no regrets at all.
And the other unicorn you said was your sister?
At the beginning it was my sister, and then like people came, can we try it too? So there was also a Swiss girl called Letizia in it, and then also Kati was in it. So the famous video you saw on Instagram was Kati and me running around.
Is that the one where you
And
run up to Michelle?
no, that was my sister. That was my
Okay.
sister. But there is also one part like doing push-ups and pretending to puzzle, like standing at the table and opening a puzzle. That was Kati and me.
Yeah, it was yeah, the videos were very funny throughout the weekend. I remember people were just asking who is the unicorn, and then yeah, obviously once the Instagram account was discovered and yeah, it all made sense with it. Do you have a special love for unicorns in general?
Yeah, so this guy here was the first unicorn that came into my life. It was the first ever present from my fiance. And I just think it's cute. And then, like all the others, like they just showed up kind of. So we say you don't buy them, they come to you. So people buy them and bring them. Yeah, so I have a big, huge family now. Um, yeah, but like initially, Kiara was known as like the girl with the unicorns. So I kind of took this away from her. I hope she's not angry with me because she collects like these little ones, like the keychains size, and she has like every unicorn you can imagine. She has, and I only have like I wouldn't say only, but I have like 14 or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I Kiara's episode came out just before this one, and she didn't bring up anything about unicorns, so I think she's okay with it, or who knows. But that definitely did not come up. Uh, just you've mentioned that that was a gift from your fiance, and does he travel around to the puzzle competitions with you a lot?
Um, Only when I make him to, when I need a pair. No, so I like to be spontaneous. And once, I think 3 years ago, there was, yeah, after Worlds. So I was at Worlds 2023 the first time. And then I was so pissed that Worlds was over and there was no competition at all. Like there was previous EJJ, and all I knew was in Spain they have every weekend they have a competition somewhere. So I checked the Spanish homepage and I found a competition in Alicante. And we have like a airport close by where I live, and I was like, oh, maybe there's a cheap flight to Alicante. There was a cheap flight to Alicante, but I didn't want to go by myself. And then I was like, oh, Rafael, what do you think about a very nice weekend in the warm part of Spain? We could go there, we could do sightseeing, and by the way, we could also go for a puzzle competition. And he just couldn't say no at that time. So, like 10 days, also again, 10 days before the competition, I booked the flights and we flew there on Friday. And then on Saturday, we had the competition. And I couldn't sign in online because I didn't have the Spanish ID number. So we didn't sign in. We didn't know if I can participate or not. And the only reason I wanted to go there was because Alejandro was there and I wanted to compete against him again to see how much I improved in these 3 months. Yeah, so he was like, okay, I go there, I just sit there and let you puzzle, and then I play on my mobile phone to like let time fly. And then he didn't play any second. He was like always running around because Alejandro was on table 1 and I was on table 60 on the back of the room. So you always had to go back and forth, back and forth. And the organizer, Ramon, he was so nice. He was like, okay, you can also participate in pairs if you want to, because you have somebody with you. So I made him participate in pairs too. So he is happy when he can stay at home, but when I don't want to go there by myself, he usually says yes and joins me, but he doesn't like enjoy it as much as I do, of course.
That's that, yeah, that tends to be the case, I think, with a lot of puzzle partners, significant others, whatever you want to call them. So you are in Switzerland. What is, and you've competed at the Swiss National, you won the Swiss Nationals in 2025. Yeah, 2025, you won the Swiss Nationals. What is what is the Swiss puzzle community like?
So I have to correct. I won only in pairs. I failed in solo and kind of failed in teams, let's say. So it's a very small community. We have these people who were traveling to world. So we started a WhatsApp group in 2023, and we just add people in this group. And I think there are now around 50 in this group. And we try to like tell people when we see a event or a competition, tell, okay, did you see this and this, and don't forget to sign in there. And I managed to organize the first meetup in November, but it's like very very small and we have to grow it. It's like, for me, it's not good enough. We don't like meet live enough, and we have to like support each other more. At the moment, it's like we have this small group of supporting people where we meet and we try to puzzle, like Patrick and me. We always try to meet every now and then we invite people or ask people to puzzle beside us, and then we also want to puzzle together. But it's most of the time it's like being fast and not casual puzzling. And the meetup one should have been we go there and we meet people, also people who are not on social media, just to make the community bigger, because the Swiss championships are not the way we know competitions can be. Like there are no spectators allowed, and you are not allowed to talk in the room. As soon as you finish, you have to go out of the room. And like there is like this time they had like a live stream. Let's say it was just a camera directing into the room, and outside he also had a screen with the ranking, but like no space for this social um thing, let's call it thing, that I love about the community. There is no place to be social, and this is something we really have to change, because with that you can grow, and this growth, I think we have to push it so that it will be something bigger. And the difficulty is, I don't know if you know many Swiss, like Swiss are normally not that outgoing, they are reserved. They don't like go there and talk to people like I do. So it's even harder to get these people get to somewhere they don't know anyone. Like the meetup, we had some people who went there that heard of a friend, they didn't know people, and you realize the moment they were walking in, they were like shy. Oh, was it the right decision to be there? And then you had to welcome them, and then it was totally fine, but they had to make this first step. And I think that's the difficulty in Switzerland, to have people who make this first step into something very great, but they don't know that it's great because they didn't open the door for them.
Yeah, I don't know tons of people from Switzerland. I did apply for a job in Switzerland way back in 2016 and again in 2019, and uh, I was offered a job there, and I regrettably turned it down. I decided to do my master's instead. The second time I was offered the job, and I really enjoyed Switzerland. The I spent a week there. It was great. Yeah, I would agree that it didn't seem very outgoing type of thing, but everyone was very friendly. And I see that I see some similarities with that with Canadians, I think, as well, where we can be outgoing, but we're also very much reserved with our groups of people. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I loved being in Switzerland. It's a beautiful country and it was nice being there. But um yeah, if I had the chance to go there again, I definitely would. If there was a job a job opening, definitely. But I understand what you mean by that community aspect. You have to have that to grow speed puzzling because it's such an independent activity to start that until you learn about pairs and teams and everything that goes with it, it's you don't know that there's all this there's so much more to it. So do you see that changing maybe in 2026 a little bit?
I hope so, but it's actually mostly on me and Patrick to push things forwards. We have a lot of people who say, I can help you, we could do this and this, but like they need somebody to do the first step. And it seems like people wait for us to do this, which means we want to build an association. We want to get in touch with the guy who organizes the Swiss national championships, that he might open it for spectators. Or yeah, so he's yeah, we have to just be there all the time and ask and ask and ask again. And for me, it's just a little extra to normal life. And at the moment, I always had some other projects, and I was like, okay, later. And now I have this wedding in this summer, which is also a big project. So I hope after that we can make progress again. And I think when we have an association, then we will have members, and then we can spread a little bit more. One example, like this morning, I drove around 2 hours to a guy I found on eBay who had puzzles to sell, and I was like, "Are you open to trade, like exchange them?" And he was like, "Okay, why not? Are you open to drive there?" And I was open to drive there, and he was like, "Oh, you just showed me a whole new world," because he had these puzzles in his basement, all nicely like piled. And then I was telling him about competitions. He was like, "Oh, there's competitions, and that's so nice." And he really doesn't know where to get how to get rid of the puzzles. And that's the problem, because we have social media, but we have a generation which is not on social media, which would also belong to our community. And I think especially in Switzerland, we have so many we can't reach because we don't know how to reach them. And that's something like a problem we have to solve somehow, so that we get bigger. And like I think most of the puzzlers are more like not outgoing like I am. I am the one who always talks to people and stuff like that. But I'm not the normal puzzler. I would say the normal puzzler likes to do something by himself. Sometimes being with people, but when like I think often being around people whole week is too much. So they go back to themselves, and I think these people also belong in this community, and we have to get in contact with them so that they can sometimes meet up, have a good day, and then go back into their bubble with more energy than they had before,
Hmm,
if
definitely.
it's
And
understandable.
yeah, yeah. Is one unique thing about Switzerland is you're attached to a lot of countries. You're completely surrounded by other uh, big name countries, and depending on what border you're living close to, I know that some people live in different countries while they work. They might work in Switzerland or vice versa, and they're going across the borders all the time. Do you think that that might be a factor as well, where if you're living close to France, you actually live in France but not spend as much time in Switzerland or the German border or the Italian border? Is Might that play a role?
I don't think so. The problem is we Swiss don't really like the Germans. Like, and I guess the Germans at the border don't really like the Swiss because we only go there for shopping and then we go back to our country. And then there's the problem with France because not many Swiss like to speak French. So this door is shut too. Then Italian border, almost nobody can speak Italian. Yeah, so it's yeah, we are like not even, but we are within Europe, but we also have this three language, like four language problem within Switzerland. So we have a French speaking part, an Italian speaking part, and a German speaking part. And the German speaking Swiss part wants to be within themselves, you know? Yeah. So for me, it's really nice. Like next weekend, I go in onto a competition in France, which is like 40 minutes away from Basel, where I live. So for me, it's a good thing because you have the advantage to go in this direction, but you have to be open for it. If not, you will just stay wherever you are.
Yeah, and like France isn't known for being a big puzzle country yet. They do host a lot of events, and they have the marathon coming up in a couple months that a lot of people will be attending. Uh, Germany, however, is a massive puzzle country. Have you gone in that direction and gone to Germany for any competitions?
Yes, I did. So I went to the German nationals last year with I have to, yeah, with Patrick, not my sister, not my mom, because they didn't have time. And then I went to the marathon which Michelle organized, which was my very first 10-hour marathon. And I loved it. I brought my mom and my aunt, Dora, which is also famous in the EJJ community. And yeah, I will go to the World Series. I will go. Was in Oschheim. We'll go there again. We'll go to Köln. Yeah. So Germany. The good thing about Germany, which is also a bad thing, is you can go there by train. Um, yeah, if the train like is on time, it's a good thing. If they are like working like usual, it's a bad thing. But yeah, for us, it's a good way to travel, and it's like much more cheap than in Switzerland. It's compared to what you would spend in Switzerland. So, and it's always very well organized. That's a big plus. They understood, okay, we want this level, no, we want this level, but we start at this level and we will go progress. It starts with the venues, choice of puzzles, like the announcements, and they have a lot of meetups. So they really listen to people and try to change progress, and that's something we can learn a lot of them.
Yeah, the German nationals were interesting to watch. I was surprised that they had repeated puzzles, like they weren't new releases, considering that they're in Germany, right near Ravensburger's headquarters, so that would have made sense. But it was their first big competition like that, so maybe it'll change in 2026. Would you so you helped to essentially run or assist in running the Swiss nationals?
No, not at all.
Not at
No,
all. Okay.
I helped that they change things maybe, but like I wouldn't like they wouldn't say help, they would say push or criticize. Maybe they would. I don't think they see it in a positive way, the way I talk to them. I was just like the first Swiss nationals was like 2024, and I couldn't attend because I was in Nepal. um and like you could see from the choice of puzzles what we could expect this year if he wouldn't change. And like Patrick was there, and he was like, it was a typical Swiss event. Like everyone was standing there, not talking to, like the typical Swiss situation. They were there in a room waiting to get into the puzzle room, and nobody was talking to anyone they didn't know. So they were like in pairs, and they talked in pairs, and the only ones who were open were the ones who were at Worlds and already knew each other, and it was hard to get in touch with each other. So Patrick reached out and said, hey, you have to have a room where you have spectators and people. Like you don't go like if you go over this hurdle to go to a competition, and it's most of the time the first competition, you don't go by yourself, right? You take somebody with you, a friend, I don't know, mom, dad, and then they can't go anywhere. They are not allowed in the room. There is no restaurant, no nothing. It was a hotel. So they changed this, so there was a little room in front of the puzzle room where you could stand, and there was also the screen with the live stream. So they improved a little bit, but not the way we expected it or we wished for. So this year we go into a gym, a very big hall, which is really nice, but still in the hall only people who sign in are allowed. So again, if you are there the first time and you bring your friend who whatever you're, yeah, they can't go anywhere. And that's something you have to change. And I'm a very direct person. So I made it direct, and I think I sounded pretty harsh, but it was so disappointing because it's a national championships. It's nationals. And it didn't feel like nationals at all. That was the first thing. And the second thing is the date. Like last year, it was a week of the World. So we flew back on Sunday, and then on Saturday morning at 9, we had the first round at Swiss Nationals. And it was like the same puzzles, like old puzzles, like at Worlds. It was nothing excited at all. And I was just like tired of having to puzzle a puzzle that I don't know. It's not even fun to puzzle in like another situation, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was very disappointed and frustrated, and that's why I was a little bit harsh, I guess. But I hope they
Which
change
is
stuff.
fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair. Worlds is it's a long draining week of event after event and plus travel and everything else. There's a big regional competition in Canada this year that's fairly close to me, which takes place really soon after Worlds is done. I don't know if it's the week after or 2 weeks after, but there's no way that I'm going to have the energy or want to do that because it's not just Worlds. You're spending the weeks and the months leading up to it preparing for it, training and getting like you're doing a lot of puzzles every day. And once Worlds is done, I've only done one World so far, but once it was done, it was just kind of like a wave of like just exhaustion just kicked in as soon as I got back to Canada. And it was, I don't want to do any puzzles. I did have a pairs event, a small one, a few days after I got back. But once that was done, I didn't touch a puzzle for weeks just because you're exhausted from it. So having a national competition that soon after would not be ideal
No,
at
and
all.
even like we expected the animals at Swiss Championships because the guy who chooses the puzzles, he never speed puzzles, so he doesn't know if something is difficult or not. And all I knew is the one who does the puzzle the most will be the one who wins Swiss championships. And I wanted to be the Swiss champ for sure, because I knew the year before I would have been Swiss champ because I solved the puzzle faster than the first one. So I knew like everything beside first place will be a disappointment. So what did I do? I went back from Worlds and I did this chameleon, the lionfish, and the butterfly, and the like the house with the flowers, farmhouse, something like that.
Oh, the
Like the,
Swedish farmhouse.
yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
flowers and house and a little bit sky. I did all these very not enjoyable puzzles the whole week after Worlds to be prepared for whatever comes. And I was like out of energy already, like on Monday after Worlds, and I had to force myself through these puzzles to get there, and because I knew I will not be the fastest. And then I just couldn't force myself to speed. Like when I saw when I saw the qualification puzzle, it was by the way the circle of colors which is behind you. I was like, okay, I can do it. It's not too bad. I will enjoy it because I like the colors, but I was like, didn't speed up. I was second, which was okay. I was happy I was not first because I didn't speed through it. And I was laying in my bed on Saturday night, knowing in the final you have to be able to get the speed, no matter which puzzle you have. And I opened the bag and I saw this boring vintage Stilleben puzzle, and I was like, no, I just don't. It's like I had in my head, it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, which is so like try to be fast if you think it's a waste of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
If
ended
you
up fourth, which I'm pretty happy with that I'm not on the podium because I wouldn't have deserved it. And the three fast one, they deserved it 100%. I was just like, I was pissed by the choice of the puzzle so much. And I was like, went outside. I like hugged everyone who was in front of me, but I was so pissed because there would have been so many nice puzzles. And all I was puzzling was green, gray, brown of
yeah.
these animals. Yeah. So it was like, yeah. So he learned the date changed. We now have 3 weeks afterwards. And I
Oh,
really
good.
hope he also learned by the choice of puzzles. I think when I'm correct, like the finals will be an unreleased one. And that's okay because my only pressure was I have to have solved the puzzle before, because if I didn't solve it, I will not be first, because I knew two guys who did the chameleon like seven, eight, 9 times, and I knew they will be faster. And I kind of expected actually the chameleon or the lionfish or the butterfly, and I was right with the butterfly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I
In
don't
the
know if
pair.
you saw the video of Patrick and me finishing the butterfly. We were first, and we were like, "Okay, we done it. Get rid of the puzzle." We didn't smile at all.
Yeah. It was I think I've seen that video where it was just okay, yeah, we're done. We'll move on from it. Before we move on to the other thing, is there any um because Switzerland, I guess, is it's well, it is. It's a growing puzzle community. It's not one of the dominant countries as of yet, but are there any are there any notable names of people from Switzerland that maybe we should be watching out for or looking out for?
Yeah, so there's Helen, Puzzle Pollen. I don't know if she will ever go to any competition, like live competition, but she beat me already twice in a Swiss puzzle competition, online competition, which is new from puzzly.ch. And I think she will be the one to watch. And then also Stefan, who did pairs with her in the last EJJ. They were faster on the first three puzzles than Patrick and me, but they have to train the endurance. These two, and then I really hope my sister will finally switch on her head to be a little bit faster, because she's fast when she trains, and whenever there is a little bit of pressure, she's like, okay, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. I don't know what's in her head. She could be so fast. Yeah. Other than that, it's like the usual. It's Patrick for sure, and like me. Yeah, and there are not many like fast ones when it comes to being the best Swiss or so, but there are nice people, like people I really like to spend time with them, like sisters from the southern part of Switzerland, which are really nice, outgoing, Simon and Nicole. Yeah, it's whenever you see a Swiss person, just go there and talk to them, because when you start talking, they're all nice. I didn't meet any not nice Swiss puzzler.
Yeah. You mentioned that you didn't attend the 2024 Swiss Nationals because you were in Nepal. What were you doing in Nepal?
So then I was trying to climb my first 8,000-meter peak, which is called Mount Everest. And I reached the summit, I think, 2 days before Swiss national finals. And in my fantasy, I was like, okay, now I go back to Kathmandu, hop on the plane, and then go to the Swiss nationals. Yeah, it would have been possible time wise, but weather wise, we were stuck for 4 days, so it was not possible.
And so was that before or after you did your Everest climb?
That was before. That was as a preparation. So when I started to like when I realized it's possible to climb Mount Everest, I wanted to make sure that I go there with my best shape ever and the most prepared you could ever be. So I made this project 1000 days to 8848, the altitude of Everest. And that started in summer 2022. And then I made this plan to um, you say in the mountaineering community, if you want to climb Everest, you have to prepare like going higher to see what your body does in high altitude. If that is okay, go higher and more technical. And if that's okay, try easy 8,000-meter peak, like one of the lower ones, which don't have any difficulties on the technical side, and then you should be prepared for Everest. And that's exactly what I did. So I went 2022, I went to Ecuador to try to go above 6,000 meters, which I failed because of the weather. And then I went to Aconcagua to climb Aconcagua, which was at New Year's Eve 2022, 2023. And then I went back to Nepal 2023, right like before all this speed puzzling happened. I went to climb a very technical mountain, which is called Amadablam, which was 6,800 meter peaks, 6,800 meters high. And then a year after, it was the first 8,000-meter peak, Manaslu, in September, October 2024. Yeah.
Yeah, I that's something that I'll never be doing, but it's always interesting to see like the journey people go on for that. And you do have a website that'll be in the description below that people can read about how you went through all of this and what you're currently up to. But when you were at Everest, and that's probably the most well-known peak around the world for people to climb, uh, you you puzzled while you were on Mount Everest.
Exactly.
At
Yeah, so
what
on
elevation?
Manaslu, like on what elevation? Yeah, at 8,000 meters, like 7,900 something in Camp 4, which is the highest camp you have on the mountain. But like it started already on my first expedition on Madablam. I was like, most of the time when you are on expedition, you go there and then you acclimatize. So you go up higher up the mountain and then you try to spend some time there so that your body can adapt to the altitude. And then you go back down to base camp and then you basically wait. You recover and you wait for the weather to be good. And this waiting time is like time in normal life. You never have this like dead time where you just sit around and try to do something. And I was reading a lot and I was writing my blog and I was like willing to do a puzzle, but I didn't bring a puzzle at all. So next time I brought a puzzle to base camp, like a 99 piece puzzle, and it was so small and not heavy. So I was like, okay, if we are in cab 1 or 2 on this and this mountain, and we have to spend like an afternoon there because we can't move, what do I do? I don't want to read all the time. So I started to puzzle, and yeah, it kind of became something which just belonged to my go-to. So what do I pack in my backpack? I pack my unicorns, and then I pack my puzzle. So I always pack.
In that
Uh,
order.
yeah. Actually, like I brought the unicorns here, so that you know. So these 3 unicorns, different ones than I showed before, they went on the summit of Everest with me. So they were also on the summit with me, and also the puzzle. I brought it up to the summit, and I also took a picture with the puzzle. But like my goal was to puzzle on the summit, but you never know. Like I had to puzzle without gloves, and you didn't know the wind up there, and like
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose fingers. Let's say it
Yeah.
like that. Because puzzling without fingers isn't a challenge I want to try.
No. Do you, but even still, puzzling at 8,000 meters ish in the camp, it has to be, are you aware of if there's a world record for highest assembly of a puzzle?
I tried to get the record, so I signed in January, and then most of the time they need they say they need 12 weeks to tell you if you can take the record or not, and it took them 10 months. So I got a message in October, and I was on the summit in May. Yeah, so they didn't give me the okay. I don't know why. So you don't get a reason. This is why. But they have rules. So the record has to be breakable. It has to be safe. So no danger. Um, what else? You have to have people who see you doing it, and I did all of that. So I recorded it, and you could break it in several um, meaning. So you can break it, you can make more pieces, you can do it faster, you can go higher. You could do it. No, I did it without oxygen. Yeah, so I think I followed the rules, but they said no. So for me it's still a record, because I'm pretty sure nobody is as stupid as I am to do that, or has these two passions and tries to combine it. But for me it was like, I go there and I will take the puzzle. So why not applying? It was like $25, and I didn't need this record. I just wanted, like, I tried it, didn't get it, I don't mind.
I think I'd be surprised if there's somebody else that has done a larger puzzle or a at that height or been higher and puzzled at that done a puzzle. So there's probably an honorary. You know that you probably have it. That might be enough, really. But um,
Exactly.
who knows? Do you have any other plans going forward for other peaks that you still want to climb?
No, no, it was all about Everest. So when I heard about Everest when I was 12, I was dreaming of it. So it was a 28-year dream I was like following, and it was like the way to be there was actually more important than being on top. Like being 12, living in a family that didn't have that much money, it was so far away and really really not possible to do. And now being here 41 and doing it like I did it, I always have to tell me, yeah, I did it. I was up there and I came back, and I even enjoyed it. I was almost healthy the whole time. I had a bad cough when I came back down, but not on the way up. So it was really enjoyable. Didn't suffer at all. I was like fit, didn't have any problems, like no avalanche, no like I had the queue on the mountain, which was expected because the weather was not that good, like not stable. So daring to like first speak about it, like I didn't speak about it for 20 years, because who would believe me? Would think I can do it. I'm a normal girl. I was never the strongest or the most sporty one or the best. Like I couldn't even climb till I started to study sports. So you don't talk about things that people like don't believe you can do it. And also Everest, I don't know about the Canadian newspapers, but whenever you read something about Everest, it's about waste, commercializing, dead people, the stupid records that have to be broken. So nothing positive. So when you dare to talk about it, you have to already be strong and be ready to push all the stupid questions back. Why do you do that? There are so many other mountains, and you don't want to die there, right? You don't want to walk over dead people, like stuff like that. And then like training for it, and like stepping into the plane knowing you might not come back. Like this was, yeah.
Yeah.
um the most courageous thing I ever did. Like going on top was like, it was just, you are in this hamster wheel and then you go on and on and on, and whenever there's a problem you can always think, okay, do I go further or do I go back? And I always knew I can turn back after a day, after 2 weeks, after 2 months, and my family will be proud. They will be there no matter what. And that, like being in this position was hard work. I did by myself first, and I did with my friends, against my friends and family, and like that makes me the proudest. Yeah, to be able to go there, and like it's okay to fail.
Yeah. But you didn't. You made it to the summit of Everest. You accomplished what you wanted to do, even if it takes 28 years. It I imagine, and it does. It takes a long time to prepare for something like that. I think my last question for this topic would be, like, I'm not talking to a lot of people that climb Mount Everest. It's not something that, well, the number of people that do it has increased over the years. There's still very, very few people in the world that will ever do it. What, and it could be personal, so you don't need to answer it or whatever, but when you made it to the summit, what was what went through your mind? And if it's a private moment you don't want to share, that's absolutely fine. But when you look out and you've reached that highest point on Earth, what was it like?
So it starts at base camp. When you start, like you do all this acclimatization thing, and then you wait, and the waiting was terrible. More terrible than anything I did in my life before, just sitting there and waiting. And the mountain was like here, it's like in front of you, and you just don't want to think about it. um, and then going there was totally fine. You are in this routine, and the moment I cracked was not on top of Everest, but when I came around the corner and it was right like 10 meters, 50 meters in front of me, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, you're really going to do it. That, like, it's there is no way you cannot reach it. Like that was when I stopped walking, and I I had to force myself to really walk there, because I knew it's the only time I will go there. I will never like do this again. So these last steps were hard, emotional. So I started crying like I always do on summits, that were like special summits. And then I tried to really embrace, like being there, and I try to enjoy the view. It's like a 360 view. Everything you see is like lower than you, and I really had to try to soak it in. And then of course you had to take the pictures, because you want to have good pictures because you don't want to be there. And I also wanted to have pictures with my Sherpas, because without them no way I could have done it. Chirin and Gyaltsen, who were there for 2 months for me, always, no matter what stupid question I had or how many popcorns I wanted to eat, they were there all the time, carrying stuff up and down. So I wanted to make sure to have a picture with them. And then I I don't know what, like I didn't want to go down. I was there and it was so nice there, and it was almost wind still, so I could take off my oxygen mask for at least 10 minutes. So I was there breathing the air, which is no air, but still didn't feel like no air. And then I took a video because I wanted to be able to be at home and look at this view whenever I wanted to. And then I brought a little rock from home. So in front of my house, there is a river, and I took a rock because in my fantasy, my dad, who passed away 5 years ago, he was waiting for me up there, and I wanted to bring him something from home. And in my mind, I filled this rock with hugs, and I put it on top of Everest. And whenever he needed a hug up in the heaven, he can go there and take a hug. Because for me, it was like my last final goodbye to him, because I knew I had to say goodbye to him on Earth. But in my mind, I always knew I will be on Everest. I will be close to him, because closer to heaven you can't be, right? And like, that's why I didn't want to go back down, because for me it was like this final goodbye to my dad, and I just didn't want to go. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
was all in my mind, and I was up there for 30 minutes, so all this had space. And then when we finally, like, when I could force to go away, I turned around again to look at it, and then I turned around, and then I was like, switch button, now it's time to go down. And there is no space for emotions. Like, on the way up there, I really blocked these emotions till the moment I saw the summit 10 meters in front of me, and I realized, yeah. And then the other way around, I blocked everything till I think like 5 minutes before I walked back into base camp. So base camp, you were walking through the glacier, and then you had 20 vertical meters going up, like scrambling up. And I was standing down there, and I was looking up there, and I knew, okay, you can do it. And these 20 meters, it took so long, because all of a sudden the exhaustion is here, and I just didn't want to walk anymore. So I was like scrambling up there, trying not to cry, walking into the dining tent and saying, "Hi, I'm back," and everyone was like, "Oh, oh, she's back." Yeah.
What was the this is the last question for this. What was the 99-piece puzzle that you did? Which one was it?
So it was from Sunshine Puzzle, Mr. Burgerman in the gym. Yeah, it's I'm a PE teacher, and I love burgers, and I love things with smiley on, like eyes and smiles. So it had to be Mr. Burgerman, and it was like me there. And since then, I always tried to convince Ellen from Sunshine Puzzles that she could do a Mr. Burgerman in the mountains puzzle. I really hope that one day she will do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing to kind of just hear all of that, whether it's the puzzling on Everest or just climbing Everest. It's very, very impressive. To move on to a different topic, then, we you also climb giant mountains, but you also do giant puzzles as well. These are appearing more and more on social media and are becoming quite popular in the speed puzzle community, even though they're not being done quickly, because how quickly can you do a giant puzzle? What do you
That's
think the
quick.
fascination? You can try, but it won't. What What do you think the fascination is with these puzzles all of a sudden?
Yeah, for me, it's not all of a sudden. I think for people nowadays, it's like the challenge to be the world's fastest. For, I would say, 99% of us, not possible, since the Polish train came. So you have to find other challenges which are possible. And I think one of these challenges is the bigger puzzles. Yeah, I think it's more a challenge against yourself, um, because we all know we can all do every puzzle in the world. We can do it, but can you mentally go through it? Can you fight through a puzzle? I think that's the thing that gives the attention to these big puzzles at the moment. And for me, it was always a thing. Like before, I like when I puzzled, I always went to the bigger ones, 5,000, 6,000, 4,000 piece puzzles. My mom taught me to always buy like the comic puzzles, no landscape, like the white mortillo puzzles. So I always bought like these comic puzzles and also Jan van Hasteren puzzles, and I have a Dino Europe version where you have Europe with dinosaurs. Um, Very detailed picture you have in Greece. You have dinos which carry the Olympic flag, and in Spain they are like doing this bull with the red sheet, or in the Netherlands they plant like tulips. So it's like Europe with dinosaurs. And I always liked these puzzles, but it was hard to find them. And then, like in 2010 or something like that, Ravensburger released the Keith Haring puzzle, like the 32,000 puzzle. Keith Haring, and I always wanted to have it, but it was just too expensive. We didn't have the money, or I didn't have the money. I was in my sports studies. I had to work to get my studies paid. So I didn't buy it. And then I just kept buying puzzles on eBay and then resell them to have the money back. And then during COVID, I had my birthday, and I was like, okay, now I buy myself the first biggest puzzle, which was the Disney 42,000. No, 40,320, like the Disney
Yeah.
one. And I fought through it. Like half of it is nice, half of it isn't nice. Like the blue background, Ellen could tell you because she just did it. Yeah, and since then I was like, okay, doing the biggest, biggest, biggest. Always try to find the biggest one, which is very hard in Switzerland. You can't find them. Yeah, and then speed puzzling came through it. So at the moment, it's like either 500 or the big one. And at the moment, I'm on the 60,000, like the world's largest till now. My sister-in-law imported it 2 years ago from the US. She bought it on Walmart. It was now it's not available anymore. So I'm currently doing this. I think I have 42 parts, so there's still 18 parts to do. It's like 60 times 1,000 pieces. So I would like do 3 parts a day if I stick to it, but there is always something that comes in between. Like I like to buy my puzzles on sale. So right on the floor beside me there is a 42,000 skyline of the world Etuca one, and then we have the 12,000 Etuca world map, and then I have the 13,000 Disney one. I have a 18,000 library one. I have like I think 200,000 pieces which are not assembled yet. Yeah.
Which of the puzzles have you mixed, if any? Have you mixed all the pieces up?
No, I don't do that because
No.
I hate sorting.
Okay.
No, it's like for
That's fair
me
enough.
it's the 40,000, that means every bag is like 4,000 pieces big. And it took me 4 hours to sort them. So in total, it's like 40 hours to sort them. And imagine like the 42,000. I saw a video of a guy I don't know, in Taiwan who kind of mixed them. It's just a waste of time. Again. No, I like to assemble. I don't like to sort. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, sorting is the worst part of doing puzzles. How do you switch then between? Do you find it easy to switch between a speed puzzle mindset and a giant puzzle mindset?
I think it's easy to switch from speed to giant, but it's hard to switch back to speed because you have this casual, not speedy way of puzzling. And also, like a week ago, I met Patrick for the EJJ Paris, and I was confused by the size of the 500 piece puzzle because I have a lot of 1,000 piece puzzles I wanted to get rid of, so I did them, gave it to my sister, and I was just confused with the size because it was so small. And Patrick was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm building the edge, and he was like, "Yeah, the edge is already done." And I was like, "No, no, it's too small." And he was like, "No, no, it's okay. You're fine." Yeah. So for me, going to huge puzzles and casual is easy, but going back, not easy at all.
Yeah, I found that before, I don't know, I don't remember what national competition it was, one of the Canadian ones, where I was doing a bunch of thousands mixed with 500s, but I did like yeah 4 or 5 thousands and then switched back to doing a 500. And the size of the border threw me off. I thought I needed so much more space, and yeah, so I don't make that mistake anymore. Months before a big competition, I'll stop doing 1,000 piece puzzles because it just throws everything off. I can't imagine doing a 70,000, 60,000 piece puzzle, or even a 3,000 piece puzzle is the largest puzzle I have, and I don't even know when I'll have time to do that, let alone a 60,000 piece puzzle. Um,
Yeah, I have the problem. I'm now at the seven portals, or is it six portals
yeah,
one, like the 7,000 one? It's currently, I puzzled right before we were starting to chat. I was puzzling with it. And I told my fiance yesterday it has to be done as fast as possible because after next weekend, I want to do only 500 pieces for German nationals. And I don't want to leave it in the living room on the floor with the we have a Roborock, you know. Yeah,
yeah.
he already found my puzzle last week, so I don't want him to find one again.
What are your plans like for these large puzzles, especially the world's largest one that you're doing? What are your plans? What do you do with the puzzle when you're done?
I want to hang it on a wall, but I didn't find a wall yet. So whoever sees this and has a wall 9 meters to 2 meters 50, tell me. I will gift it. Yeah, no. So I already like the Disney one. I could give it to a friend whose father-in-law already wanted to buy it, like assembled, and they gifted it to him for his 70th birthday. So it is at the wall. I never saw it at the wall. It's still like the invitation is still open. It's like a 3 hour drive from here.
Yeah.
Then I did a 54-piece one, and that actually is hanging in the parking lot of my fiance. So when I was climbing Everest, he hang it on the wall without telling me. So whenever he went home from work, he tried to put it on the wall. It was a 2 month project for him. And when we came home from the airport, he drove in there and I saw this puzzle on the wall. I was like, yeah, I was crying again. Because it was so it's amazing when you have it in pieces and you never saw it like the full puzzle, and then all of a sudden it's on your wall. So all these puzzles which are beside me, they are big enough or small enough to hang it beside this. So we
Yeah.
will try to get it on the walls of the parking lot, like the whole walls will be covered. But the 60,000, yeah, I don't know. It's like 8 meters long, and the problem is the height because it's 244 meters, and normally in Switzerland the height of rooms is 238, and I don't want to cut
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at the room I'm currently in, and I was like, I don't know if that's 2 and a bit meters high. It probably is, but even then, it's gonna be close. I don't know what I would do with a puzzle like that. I'd feel bad taking it apart, but at the same time, I don't know where I'm gonna keep a puzzle that size. So until I
yeah,
have a
I will
spot
for
where I
sure
can,
put it together. That's for sure because I work as a PE teacher, so I can go into the hall and put it together. So I will do that, but I have to take it like into these 60 parts, and like the problem is like you need a wall which doesn't have a door or a window. And I might have found a wall at the clinic for against depression, and I have to reach out if they are open to hang it on the wall. But it's like a hallway which is not really used, but it's still a wall, and you could go there with the patients to like have something nice and maybe give them an idea of having something to do to get out of depression, because I think puzzles could also help with this. So it's like very slow work in progress with this puzzle.
yeah, I can only I can only imagine. Just one more topic to briefly cover, you do have there's nationals coming up and Swiss nationals, German nationals, a bunch of things all going on that now that we're in the puzzle season, the speed puzzle season. But the big event coming up, and it's only a couple months away at this point, which is the World Series, which you are attending as well. There's not a lot of Swiss names on there. I think there's two at the moment.
No,
Two
no, it's 8 or 9, I
or
think.
eight. Wow, I need to update my stuff.
It
Um,
depends on if they put us into Sweden or Switzerland, because Patrick was in the Swedish part of the participants for some kind of time.
oh no, you're hang on. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 or 15 from Switzerland. So that's actually
Perfect.
pretty that's more than I thought Switzerland would be sending. Even though they're quite close, obviously they're attached countries, but still that's quite a bit. Why did you decide to sign up for this to attend the World Series?
Because it seems to be something for us speed puzzlers. It seemed like she listened to what we missed at Worlds. She listened to what other ideas we have. It sounds very professional, and it's just also another opportunity to have this community. I'm not sure if I'm going to Worlds because last year was like was what it was. So I'm not sure if I go to Worlds. So I'm not sure if I can go to Europeans. It depends on the schedule because I can't take off school all the time. So for me, it was like one event I know I can go, and I was pretty sure most of the people I already met will go. So that was the big why I go. And I also like the 6 challenges. So whenever you were not like the best in one challenge, you still have 5 challenges to go. And like I don't really like to analyze my weaknesses or my strengths when it comes to puzzling. And I think it's a good way to also see where I'm good at and where I'm not, because I think I know where I'm good at, but I think it will show time wise, not compared to others, but time wise, which is the best I can do, where can I improve. And it's also another competition to get used to competitions again, because the last competition was Swiss championships, like live competition. And like since it was not a good like memory, I don't know how I will react on the next live competition. Will I still not be able to like speed through it? So yeah, it's good to have this 6 time possibility to give the best I have.
And because it's such a unique uh, event with the 6 challenges, there's no eliminations. Everyone moves through, and your times are all combined at the end to see who the fastest is. The, I'm only going to have maybe 3 or 4 more guests on here before that competition actually takes place. So I'm going to keep asking people, and while we can, because we don't know, is is there a challenge that you are more nervous about of the 6?
Actually, I'm not nervous about anything. I'm most excited about the unboxed event, because I before I did speed puzzling, I always puzzled without the box. And that's something Patrick blames me at least once a competition that I don't look at the box. Um, yeah, and sometimes now I look at the box, but I don't see something. I just look at the box that he doesn't say something, but I didn't see what I should have seen. So yeah, so I'm most excited about the unboxed event, but I think I can go through everything. So I'm totally not nervous. I'm actually most nervous about the cards, like the collectible cards. That's the thing. I'm most nervous. Will I be the one card that nobody wants to have? Or I don't know.
Yeah, that's because I woke up this morning to the email letting us know when the deadline is to submit the to submit the photo, which is March 13th. So a couple weeks
Exactly.
still to go at the time of this recording. I've had some suggestions from people on what my mine should look like. Now that we have the guidelines of what we need to include, it does limit some of the options that people did suggest, especially with the neutral background or the background being removed aspect that takes away from some of the options, but I still have some in mind. You don't need to
You
review
can
because I think
still put
everyone
the
wants.
rain on it.
Yeah, that's everyone. That's the highest one that was requested. The problem is will they remove? Because I have to reshoot it. It's a very blurry photo. Would they remove the rain? I guess right now, being in Canada, it would be snow that would be in the picture instead. But so I don't know how that would work. But and I know some people are keeping their images secret. So again, you don't have to answer these ones. But have you considered, and you may go either direction, will there be might there be a unicorn in your photo?
Actually, no, I was just seeing it. I wanted to fill it as fast as possible because I tend to forget stuff and I didn't want to forget to sign in. So I scrolled through all my pictures and I saw the picture when I opened the 54,000 piece puzzle. I took a picture of me in these bags of pieces laying on the floor. And I was like, okay, that's the picture I take. So I
That's a good
took
one.
this and I thought about putting the unicorns in there, but I was like, no, that's too much work. And it's like, I don't want to have a picture out of four pictures. So yeah, if they don't like this, I can always do another picture of me with the unicorns. But I hope they find some unicorns to put on the card somewhere. So maybe there's a unicorn squad with Kiara and my sister. We will see. I forced my mom and my sister. I saw them 2 days ago, and I was like, "You have to fill this, and you have to send pictures because I want to collect your cards." Yeah,
Yeah,
because they're also coming.
that's good. And competing?
Yes, yes.
Nice.
My mom is nervous because she doesn't know if she's fast enough because 75 minutes was too short of time at Worlds. And my sister, she initially was on a holiday, but her husband hurt his knee. He got into surgery, so they couldn't go to holidays. And now she's here and she competes. And I think she's nervous too, but since I said she is very like I think she's fast, and I think it helps her to have these six possibilities to be fast, because at Worlds the first time at Worlds she didn't qualify because she went with me like 2023. She booked the flight 5 days before we departed, and the 2024 when I was not there she didn't reach the semifinals, and my mom also, and they were so disappointed. So for her, the first round is always the most difficult one. And now with World Series, she has six chances to show her best, and it's six unreleased puzzle, or almost unreleased puzzles, so she can show her very best. So I think she will be nervous more than I am.
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of nerves with this because we don't really know what to expect. We know the themes, but we don't know any specifics about it. And repetition can mean a lot of different things. Gradient can mean a lot of different things. There's no way to know what it is until we're sitting at those tables. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
I'm
Um,
sure she will give her very best, and
yeah,
I always support people who do something new, and she was so courageous to just try. I mean, it's so big. You could like only fail, and she just smashed it. It's so nice. So whatever happens, we will all have a good experience, and that's something that I keep in my mind, that it's gonna be totally fine. And if I don't like the puzzles, the community is there. You can talk to people a lot, and I will go home with a big smile and bags full of puzzles and bags full of memories. So it's gonna be very nice.
yeah, I think so too. I'm very excited to see how it all turns out over the course of those 2 days. Um, just to kind of wrap this all up on here, I think I asked the same questions from all my guests to kind of close out these little chats. The first one is about goal setting, and speaking to someone who spent 28 years achieving a goal, one of the biggest you can, and all the other things that you're doing. I think it's a great question to ask you is how do you go about setting yourself up for realistic goals, whether it's in puzzling or in life in general?
A realistic goal is a goal that you can put down into small goals. So I don't have like that big goal anymore. I just want to stay open and spontaneous and flexible like I am, even though I get old. And yeah, that's that's my goal to just stay the way I am. My fiance says the sun is rising when I'm entering a room, and I want to keep this sun rising when you see me and when I enter and I go somewhere. Just stay optimistic and positive. That's my goal, and I can start it every day newly.
Which I think that's a great way to look at things. Yeah, it's just yeah, doing things in steps, but just also just staying positive. I think is a good goal to have. What is also on this channel, I do include some speed puzzling lessons for those who might be getting into speed puzzling or more advanced people looking for different ways to try things out. So again, asking all the guests, is there a piece of advice or a tip or a challenge that you can propose that I might feature on a upcoming lesson on this channel?
I would say stepping back is sometimes a good thing. So don't force, don't like try new things. Something which is an advice for me. I always like sort the edge out, and then I try to do my islands and like being open for different things because the way you puzzled for 40 years doesn't have to be the fastest way. It's like more an advice to myself, but I think also an advice to others.
Yeah, definitely. And as a lot of us start preparing for the World Series and the unboxed puzzles or the no box puzzles and all those, it's we have to be looking at different approaches. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. So just to finish this all out, it's the quick fire questions, just whatever comes to your mind first. Before we go into that, just a reminder on what your Instagram channel is.
Puzzle on the line unicorn. Wait.
Awesome. With the unicorn. Yeah. And
Oh, one flow down. Oh,
all right. Here we go. So, quick fire questions, whatever comes to your mind. Your favorite brand,
Ravensburger.
your favorite piece count,
I have to say 500.
not 60,000 or
It's just a once in a lifetime experience. So yeah.
your favorite cut style.
The normal cut. I don't like the random cut. Like for speed puzzling, normal cut. For like casual puzzling, make it more interesting. Is random cut is okay, but competition, normal cut.
Yeah. Your favorite speed puzzle event.
I hope it's going to be World Series. Other than that, marathons with Frushi and the girls from her team. They are my favorite. It's so funny all the time.
Your favorite puzzler.
You? No, I have to say
No.
Chiara.
Yeah.
It's Chiara for sure. Yeah.
That's a better choice. Your favorite puzzle that you've ever done.
Um, Possibly it's like the combination of my two passions. I once found a puzzle from Everest, and yeah, it's like it was hard as hell, but it was my dream, so it has to be this.
So it might be the same answer for this one, but maybe different. The hardest puzzle you've ever done.
Um, No, it's not this. Which was the hardest puzzle I ever done? I did like the an impossible puzzle, which was two-sided printed. Like one side was Smarties, and the other side was like sugar something. So that was the hardest. But it was not enjoyable at all. But I was like, if you give, like, it was a gift from a friend, and I was like, if you gift it to me, you want me to fail. It took me a month or even more, but I made it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done some of those double-sided, and the few of them are very difficult to do. Your least favorite design to see on a puzzle?
Frida Kahlo. She never smiles and she always takes flowers with her on the puzzles. It's always flowers and Frida.
Yeah, I agree. It's the face doesn't isn't smiling, but it's yeah, yeah, wasn't my favorite of the semifinal puzzles at Worlds, but
Yeah.
it is what it
You
is.
know what makes me angry? It's just we have so many wonderful women who did something great in world, and we always come back to Frida Kahlo. I know she did great and stuff, but like we have so many. Like even like the last 2 weeks of Olympics, you could make a puzzle out of all these very nice girls and women who did extraordinary things, and then we come back to Frida.
Yeah. Your your favorite puzzle moment.
That was when my sister qualified for semifinals this like last worlds. She didn't choose the right puzzle out of the two, and she was like the ranking, she went back and back and back and back, and she was like two ranks before being kicked out, and we went home and she was so angry, but she tried to keep it together. Like she was like, why did I choose this puzzle, I'm so stupid. Like she blamed herself and it was her fault. And then we went back to the couch, and then I was on the toilet. I went back, I checked the ranking, and I saw the queue, and I looked at her and she didn't see it. And I was like, I just saw the queue. And she was like in disbelief. And then she started crying. And my mom, my sister, and I, we were crying on the couch, hugging each other because she finally made it to the semifinals. That was like the biggest moment. Yeah.
That's a very nice moment. It's always interesting to see people pick moments that aren't their own. It's you're sharing that moment with somebody else. Your favorite way to get new puzzles?
Um, Opening an HHA unreleased puzzle.
They do
Yeah.
have good puzzles.
Yeah, or I mostly buy them on sale, but that's not like enjoyable. It's just okay, sale.
And the last question, your dream puzzle that you've not done but wish you could.
One that exists.
Yes. Well,
Um,
you know what? You answer the question however you choose.
okay, so one that exists, there is this 27 World Wonder puzzle. I think it's 50,000 or something like that. I would love to do that. Like there are two of them which are sold out and you can't find them anymore. So these two would be very nice. And one that doesn't exist, I would love to have a rainbow, colorful unicorn, like with these unicorns puzzle, 500 pieces. I would love that. Like the one behind you is pretty close to what I like the smiley. I don't even know the name, the kawaii chaos.
Oh, the cute kawaii
Yeah,
chaos. Yeah.
like the whole puzzle is smiling at you. That's yeah, my favorite one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. That's the round I wish I was in at Worlds for the semifinals. I wasn't, but it's fine. Uh, yeah, great answers for those ones. That is it. Thank you so much for joining me and talking with me and sharing your experiences. Quite interesting stories that you have. I'm sure we'll see each other probably in Germany in a few months from now, but best of luck to you in all your competitions in 2026. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Uh, I'll speak with you soon. Bye.
Bye.